The new Nintendo 3DS. It's a game changer.
It's time for a whole new Nintendo experience.
With the holidays and New Year's ending, 2025 will be the year we finally get to see what Nintendo is cooking behind doors with the Switch 2. There's been multiple leaks floating around about the renders and even the physical Joy-Cons for the new Switch. Apparently you can use them as a mouse? I know if this feature is an actual thing, it's only gonna be used once. I can already call it. Who the hell would honestly use this as a mouse? Maybe I can finally be good at Marvel Rivals. The Switch 2 will be announced by March 31st, or at least that's what the Game Awards Twitter tweeted out. So if the date is correct, we might be getting it sooner this year rather than by the end of the year. I am ready for the smell feature. Nintendo, please make this true.
Want a sniff?
Jokes aside, when the leaks started popping up, I had a realization. Nintendo will never make a quote-unquote new console. The Switch is potentially the last innovation of a console. We are also seeing other companies follow Nintendo's footsteps in real time. Just look at Valve and Lenovo and PlayStation. These are handheld consoles that support high-end computer games. Switch was released in 2017 and Steam followed, releasing in 2022. Now, you could say it takes time for consoles to be planned out before release, but let's be honest, Valve definitely took inspiration from the Switch. I don't know, 5-year gap is looking a little suspicious. I want to take a look at why there is not going to be another innovation of a console and that every other company is going to do the same thing and have an iteration of a Switch like a Nintendo. Nintendo is famously known for their innovation of consoles and their willingness to push boundaries like the Wii U. Wii U. I forgot how bad this console was, but I still bought one anyways. While we had home consoles like the Wii or Wii U, they also wanted to have on-the-go games so people can enjoy them anywhere they traveled. By now, you guys know what I'm talking about, the Nintendo DS lineup. This sleek 2-screen responsive button with a joystick that feels smooth when pressed against the finger, camera like no other, high tech that shows upgrades from the previous handhelds created, games that immerse players with the stylus. This was it. This was Nintendo's best handheld console to exist. The PSP? Nah, forget about that booty console. The DS was so good that they started releasing more versions of it over the years. They realized that people are willing to buy handhelds and home consoles rather than having one or the other. So Nintendo was like, we need to make a console that exceeds the Wii U. That console was so ass, everyone was thinking it was an accessory. Sir, we can make a VR headset. There are no wrong answers here. Anybody else have a better idea? What if we combine both the Wii family and the DS family? Guys, please, can we... Wait, you might be onto something. And that's how the Switch was born. Everything that happened there is true, trust me. I was there in the meeting room watching it go down. The Switch completely changed the console and gaming scene. People couldn't believe that it was possible to make a handheld and a home console. And you had the option to only have the handheld version with the Lite. Nintendo made the calculations on people's preferences. Except that the launch for the Switch was pretty bad. If you don't remember, the console launch was insanely bad with people showing their Switches getting scratched when putting them on the dock. Games would break the Switch, not letting them close the game. Dead pixels popped up and Nintendo said it was normal for that to happen. Yeah, that one was crazy. The worst one was the side straps on the Joy-Cons. I fell victim to this, and it had me sweating thinking I broke the console, but thank God there was already a YouTube video showing me an easy way to take off the Joy-Cons. That's why they had to make a second version of the original Switch. It took care of the broken crap the first version had. Also, the launch titles for the Switch were not great. All we really had was Breath of the Wild. But let's just imagine all that never happened and pretend that the Switch was this amazing console with no flaws to it. Right now, the Switch is surpassing the PlayStation and Xbox by a good amount, and Nintendo earned that spot. A vast selection of video games to choose from, even the indie games. Wow, this cat won't let me win this one time. Not that I'm saying that indie games only outlet was the Switch, but the vast majority wanted it to be for that platform since there are a lot more people who own it. It only makes sense. After the success of the first two versions of the Switch, Nintendo had to go in for seconds and make the OLED version. If this isn't ringing a bell from what we experienced before, then I don't know what to tell you. We are going back to the beginning. The Switch is going through the same thing as the Nintendo DS. We got the OG DS, DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL, the 3DS, 3DS XL, 2DS, new 3DS. Oh my god, why does it keep going? New 3DS XL and new 2DS XL. This console is if the game Skyrim was a console. Never-ending remakes. At this point, Nintendo should just slap the word new on top of the box and sell it as it is. As consoles innovate over the years with every console having something to stand out and be different, I feel like we reached the peak of it. Unless we somehow get a VR included with the console, but that's like a whole different thing. There's nothing much to innovate anymore. We have all we need with the Switch. A handheld plus a TV console. The PS5 released their Pro version, and please just buy a PC. $700 for a PS5 is not worth it. You get all the games from the PlayStation on the PC, plus random shovelware that can be fun with friends. A gaming PC worth $700 can get you farther than the PS5 Pro. Anyways, PlayStation is reportedly making a new PSP that rivals with the Switch. I'm telling y'all, every gaming company is following Nintendo in making their own iteration of the Switch. Look at Atari. This handheld looks goofy as hell, but I understand why they would do this. This is the only way to innovate new consoles. They would be stupid not to make a handheld and a home console in one. With PlayStation and Atari joining in, the question now is, who can make it better? I think the PSP can have the upper hand if it can play new gen games equal to PS5 games. Not that BS that was the PlayStation Remote Portal. The vision was not there on this one. Sony has the range to focus solely on performance than Nintendo, since Nintendo has to worry about the Joy-Cons and motion capture. Hopefully they don't make the new PSP Cloud gaming only, like how they've been releasing digital versions of the console. I guess that's their version of the Nintendo Switch Lite, but the Nintendo Switch Lite is still a standard handheld console. Also, I don't like the idea that people preferred the digital version of consoles, but that's another rant that I've done before. Finally, the last thing I want to point out is that people are looking for conveniency and are growing away from traditional consoles. Most people are figuring out that a gaming PC is worth the money than an actual console. Sure, a console is cheaper, but like I said before, you can almost play every single game on the PC and more. You're allowed to multitask and lower your IQ by watching a show or listening to music while you play a game in the main screen, making it convenient for users. That's the whole goal for these upcoming consoles. The success of the Nintendo Switch with its innovative hybrid design focuses primarily on conveniency over high-end graphics like the rest of the consoles. Wow, look at this water. I was waiting for this my whole life. I can finally die happy. This just shows you how people would rather buy a cost-effective and user-friendly console than something that appears realistic. In the end, I honestly think that Nintendo made the last innovative console, and that the majority of the future consoles will be some iteration of the Switch. There has been a peak of technological improvements, as if a saturation is happening. As the gaming industry moves forward, cloud gaming and hybrid consoles will dominate the scene. Traditional consoles will likely become the past, with people reminiscing of what the good times were. Or I might be completely wrong, and gaming consoles will continue making their home consoles. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you want more of these half-ass videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. See ya.